2 free transfers going into FPL Gameweek 21, and I really need to make some progress after a red arrow last time out. Help me get this one to 1,000 likes and subscribe to the channel. I'll be answering all comments on this one. Let's get into it. Starting off with how my game week 20 went then. It felt like a good week, to be fair. All of my forwards delivered an attacking returns. And in the midfield, Salah, my captain, scored, as did Palmer. My transfer in, Jacob Murphy, got an assist. Enzo Fernandez, who was the player that made way, blanked. Diogo Jota was the only blank in my front seven. He's a bit of an issue now, though, because he's not starting games. I really thought he would. So he's a player that's probably going to make way fairly soon. But yeah, no attacking returns or clean sheets for the defence is the thing that hurt me here, especially when we had the likes of the Nottingham Forest clean sheet, Fleckham with a clean sheet as well. And I didn't have Brian and Burmo either, who's still fairly significantly owned, and he managed to get a massive haul of 19 points. So he's the player that really did the damage to my team here. Let's have a look at the midweek fixtures then. I'm recording this on Tuesday morning, and on Tuesday evening and Wednesday evening we've got League Cup semi-final action. These are two-legged ties. So Arsenal play Newcastle tonight, and then tomorrow Spurs play Liverpool. And then the next deadline isn't actually until next Tuesday, because we do have the third round of the FA Cup, which kicks off on Thursday, runs through to Monday. So all 20 Premier League teams will be in action in the FA Cup. This is a good opportunity for managers to rotate their squads. However, there are some all Premier League ties. We've got Aston Villa against West Ham on Friday. We also have on Sunday Arsenal versus Manchester United. So a few significant fixtures to look out for there. So my biggest piece of advice is try and hold on to your free transfers if you can, unless you're going to be priced out of moves, because anything could happen in the next week before the game week 21 deadline. So it's important to be in a position where you can be flexible to react to any breaking news. So I'm heading into game week 21 with 2 free transfers, 1.1 million in the bank. And the biggest issue in my squad at the moment is Diogo Jota, who has not started a game for Liverpool across the festive period. I brought him in, I think, in game week 18 as a bit of a punt as my Saka replacement. He has got a goal in that time, so it's not been an absolute disaster, but it's not exactly worked out how I would have liked. So I need to rectify this situation now. There's a couple of players I can choose to replace him with. Obviously, and Burmo was the one that damaged me last week. The trouble is his next 4 fixtures aren't great. Man City, Liverpool, Crystal Palace and Spurs. The upside is that 3 home games in the next 4 should suit him, because historically he has done a lot better at home this season than on the road. But the home games that he's delivered in already this campaign have been home games against weaker opposition. I don't think it's essential to get Mbermo in just right now. The player that I'm more tempted to move to is Newcastle's Anthony Gordon. It would mean a triple up on the Newcastle attack, but if you look at the last 4 game weeks, they've won 4-0, 3-0, 2-0 and 2-1. And you look at the fixtures, they've got Wolves at home and Bournemouth at home in the next 2 game weeks, followed by Southampton away and Fulham at home. I think it's absolutely fine to be tripled up on them in this period. I guess the only issue is the fact that they are still in the League Cup, and that's going to be a big priority. We could see a little bit of rotation at some point. Anthony Gordon did have a whack to the face. I think he broke his nose in the 2-1 win at Spurs. So again, that's something just to keep an eye on. But it's the move that I'm tempted to make this week. I would love to improve my defence as well, to be fair. The only issue with that is that I don't want to spend all of my free transfers if I don't need to. And I do have a little bit of a benching dilemma in my defence already this week, so it feels a bit daft to make an additional luxury move there. The only other thing with selling Jota is that it does take me down to just 2 Liverpool players. Liverpool could have a double game week coming up in the next month, but it does open the door for using the assistant manager chip and bringing in Arne Slot as well. So there's swings and roundabouts with it, but it's something that I am strongly considering as my transfer in this week. Let's have a look at how the team will line up then for FPL Gameweek 21, and it is going to be Raya in goal at home to Spurs. It's hard to know whether to expect an Arsenal clean sheet or not against Spurs, because Spurs are one of the top scoring teams in the league this season, but a North London derby, the Emirates, is not an easy place to go. So I'm going to double up with Gabriel in the defence. Trent absolutely let me down last week with a 0-pointer, but the week before he got a 15-pointer. Forest away, it's really difficult to know what to expect, but I'm playing him for his attacking threat more than anything else. Conor Bradley could be a threat to his minutes fairly soon, but I think he'll get the nod, as will Anthony Robinson, who has more assists than any other defender this season, away at West Ham. That means benching Ezri Konsa away at Everton, which feels like a shame. But I am going with the attacking threat more than the clean sheets, because an away clean sheet isn't something that you can absolutely bank on. It is going to be a tweak to the formation this week. I'm going to go with a 5-man midfield. Obviously, I've got double Newcastle midfield with Murphy and Gordon now. Palmer stays, as does Salah, and Morgan Rogers away at Everton gets the nod over Solanke away at Arsenal, who is my first sub. I'm playing Chris Wood at home to Liverpool, and I'm obviously playing Isak at home to Wolves. It feels like a bit of a mixed bag across the team for the fixtures this week, certainly having 4 players for Liverpool against Forest and 3 players against each other for the North London derby. But let's just see how it works out. You can't have it looking perfect every single week. Now, when it comes to captaincy, it does feel like I've got a decision to make this week, because Salah against Forest away, that is a tough fixture. But Liverpool have been so good attacking-wise that he is still a very good captain pick. But there are other options. We've got Cole Palmer with a home game against Bournemouth, and Palmer's been in great form. And in home games, you can kind of back his consistency to score. And then we've got Isak, who's got Wolves at home, which is probably one of the best fixtures on the calendar. And he scored in 7 straight games. So I am really, really tempted to captain Isak this week. I think that's going to be my first port of call. However, I will be monitoring very closely minutes of various players going into game week 21, you know, in the League Cup for the likes of Liverpool and Newcastle, then in the FA Cup weekend, because if I feel like another team is fresher or another player is fresher, then that may make me change my decision. But at the moment, I think I am going to go Isak captain, Cole Palmer vice captain, and nothing for Salah. Remember, I'm answering all comments on this video then, so get your dilemmas in. Let's get this one to 1,000 likes. Subscribe to the channel as well, and make sure you hit the notify button, because later this week I'm going to be sharing with you the form versus fixture charts, which are back for game week 21 as well. Thank you for watching.